Hello and welcome to MotoGP Mac, where MotoGP fans come to congregate and fanboys fear to tread. Got my new shirt. My MV shirt cost me all $8. I gave it to myself as a present for doing 3 roll-on races with a bunch of guys, and I whooped them all. Well, with the it's the FRRR.
The FRRR whooped them all. It's not the pilot thing. It's not the pilot.
No. I am the first to tell you, I have the best bikes and the worst rider. My skills are shot. I can't feel my hands and my feet. I mean, how good can you be?
At least you're not all the gear and no idea. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
you know how to do it, but you just can't.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the Brno Grand Prix. Like now, I personally love the Brno circuit. I think there's a mixture of everything in it. You know what I mean? Sprint race was good. I enjoyed the sprint race. I must say, you know, it was a bit. It's what a sprint race, in my view, should be. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't all over. Do you know what I mean? Anything could have happened. Bezzecchi crashing. Look, crashes happen, which is fine. He doesn't have the best record in the sprints anyway. But then he fucked himself right over. Do you know what I mean? By punching your man or slapping your man in the face and whatnot. And look, I think, if I'm honest, I think him being suspended for a race is probably right. Do you know what I mean?
I have a caveat on that. What I think they should have done, not a caveat, but they should have, so it didn't affect the points, right? I think they should have just given him a monetary fine. I mean, a good 10, 20 grand monetary fine.
It's not the problem. It's not the problem of money or this and the other, right? And they're trying to put it into context of what it is. Like, we've seen riders slapping each other and fellas pushing marshals in the thing, but it was like the actual thing that he went for his head, right? And he went twice at him. Do you know what I mean? And if you don't stamp that out now, and fuck him over a small bit, down through the categories, people will do that. Do you know what I mean? And they'll see, oh, well, look, he's doing it. Do you know what I mean? Now, saying that, I think the other side of the coin, I think, it fucked him. Like, Mark rode absolutely brilliant in the main race. I can't take that away from him. He was very unlike Marc Marquez. Do you know what I mean? He was calm. He was patient. He waited till he knew Pecco was going to run out of tire, and you could see it. Do you know what I mean? You could see about 8 laps in, you could see Pecco struggling, right? And you could just see Mark. You knew the Jaws music was on. Like, do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And he was going to come past. And as soon as Mark came past, you could see Pecco was like getting goosed anyway. Do you know what I mean? And like Agora was catching him. So, but I still think Bezzecchi is. Mark isn't in Bezzecchi's head yet. Do you know what I mean? Not yet. But like, the commentators were going on after, like, Mark has closed down. Like, he was 100 and something points, and now he's 40 points behind. I was like, true, but like, your man fucked himself and he crashed and then he got himself suspended. Do you know what I mean? Now, saying that, Mark is in the title hunt now.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He is.
I can't believe it. I mean, you wouldn't think this.
But he's the same as Bezzecchi. Like, Bezzecchi has had his two stupid fucking things. Do you know what I mean? Mark will probably do something. Mark will crash or something. Like, it's one crash away from game on or game over. And
yeah,
I don't know. I think Bezzecchi has an awful lot more to worry about with Jorge Martin than Marc Marquez at the moment. I think 40 points. That's still one good. What is it? 37 points for a weekend now. Yeah, 37. It's one really good weekend for Mark and one really poor weekend for Bezzecchi. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I just think. Yeah,
but it's not like Martin's been Mr. Consistency also. But Barton's not been Mr. Consistent either.
He hasn't. No. But I think where I'm kind of going with this is I think with the same bike, Martin can push him a bit more. Do you know what I mean? And when they're strong, he can maybe force Bezzecchi into a mistaken crash. Do you know what I mean? So that's where I'm seeing it now. Look, I do understand people's thing. Like the punishment was highly unusual that they gave to Bezzecchi for slapping him. You're kind of right. You could have done a monetary one, or you could have made him go to a fucking local race and fucking be a marshal for a couple of wet weekends. Do you know what I mean? Send him over to the UK and have him fucking stand in the piss and rain for the 3 weekends and see how he fucking likes being a fucking marshal. Do you know what I mean? And then some dickhead of a rider coming up and trying to fight you. You know what I mean? So, but saying that, the other side of the coin, he did go and apologize, and the apology looked genuine. Do you know what I mean? He looked genuinely upset after of his behavior. I think it was pretty cheeky of Aprilia, if I'm honest, to be trying to appeal the decision. Do you know what I mean? It's in my view, I'm just like, why are you even appealing it? Like, he hit him. Do you know what I mean? It's not he pushed him, he hit him. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, you can't.
Were they trying to get? Was Aprilia trying to get it erased this decision, or were they trying to get it modified?
Yeah. They were trying to get it. They were trying to appeal the decision of the disqualification based off other people pushing marshals, and they got a long lap penalty, or they got this or that or the other. But speaking of long lap penalties, like Jorge Martin creased 2 riders. Did you know what I mean? Or 3 riders, or whatever it was. Did a two long lap penalties in Brno. Was able to practice those long lap penalties Friday, Saturday. Do you know what I mean? He had it down to a T that he lost the minimum amount of time. Each long lap penalty, right, was 2.5 seconds approximately. Like, you clean 2 riders out and you get a 5-second penalty. Doesn't really make sense to me, if I'm very honest. So, then when you look at the extreme of what Bezzecchi did, it's a little bit weird, and it doesn't make too much sense, I suppose. You know what I mean? But look, it is what it is. He serves time.
It's a tough job to get everything even. It's never
Yeah. But look, the other side, I suppose, the other thing that I do commend Bezzecchi for is that he stayed around. He faced the music. He didn't just hop on his private jet or whatever and fuck off out of there. Do you know what I mean? He stayed for the weekend to see things. Now, I suppose he was staying around, not wanting to fuck off, because he wanted to have a look of. Well, he was testing today, which is Monday. He was testing in the 850s today on the Pirelli tires. Interesting enough, on that test, right? I had to screenshot this because I couldn't believe actually who was riding there this week. So we know Toprak was riding. Luca Marini, Raul Fernandez, Danny Pedrosa, Taka Nakagami, Joe Admir, Pedro Acosta, Polo Spagaro, Augusto Fernandez, Fermin Aldegar, Marco Bezzecchi, and Marc Marquez.
Pedro Acosta came out and said the 850s are a big step backwards. Did you see that?
I haven't seen that. Yeah, no, I haven't seen any rider reaction from it. I read the Pirelli one, which they were saying that was pretty aggressive, what they were asking the teams to do. I know Toprak was asked to do a sprint race simulation on the tires, because remember this is the first time they got the 850s plus the Pirellis.
Yeah.
So, and then I was thinking, like, why would they allow Pedro Acosta there when he's jumping ship to Ducati next year? Well, Pedro would be from the new school, as well as like Fermin Aldeguer, and they would have some might have some knowledge from the Pirelli Moto 2 tire. Do you know what I mean? So, and so would probably Raul Fernandez might have. Not 100% sure. So it is interesting, and because like if you look at it, like Acosta going to Ducati, but he's ridden next year's KTM. Do you know what I mean? He's going to be so KTM probably have weighed up the options and said, well, look, it's better to have him on it, get his instant feedback, and go from there. So yeah, so it's been pretty interesting, and like I haven't heard too much rider feedback on today's test yet. So let's wait and see what comes out. I suppose the other thing that some big changes have been announced, and it's kicking in. Don't know if you've seen this yet. Some of it is kicking in from this weekend's coming up. Not sure if you noticed this weekend they were doing a load of practice starts without the front hole shot device. And from this weekend coming, the front right height or front hole shot device is banned. It's going to be gone.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Yeah. So obviously, look, we know that at the end of the season they were both gone anyway, but they're using the excuse that disconnecting it is a particular issue and it's causing issues. So it is gone from there. The next part of it is that, or the next change, I think from the German Grand Prix, is that the grid spacing is going to change. So it's going to move from 9 meters gap to 12 meters. Like, I don't know. I think you're trying to stop something. Like what you're now saying is, okay, adding that 12 meters, and unless you get an absolute fucking donkey start, you're not going to lose a place at the grid. So so I think it's just that they're trying to make it a bit too safe. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it goes from 9 feet, okay, between the row 1 and row 2. So you take that row. That is
9 meters.
12 feet between.
Yeah, well, it's 9 meters and 12 meters. So first and fourth would be 12 meters apart now, not 9 meters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When I read it said feet. That can happen. People get screwed up. I read feet, but that definitely.
Yeah. No, it's meters. It's definitely meters. And then also from 2028, there will be a maximum limit of 6 riders who are permitted to use machinery from the same manufacturer in MotoGP, i.e., meaning 6 bike limit.
So
there's only a manufacturer can only run 6 bikes. So you won't have 8 Ducatis, you will have 6. You won't have 8 Hondas, you will only have 6. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's a great idea. It's one, it's over height, okay, with how many bikes you need, okay. So that's dropping off back again. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no worries. And then look, the other thing, and look, I suppose we were speaking about this during the week, is like the rider announcements haven't been made yet, right? And like this has been and I've done a bit of digging into it, and they didn't want to do the rider announcements because none of the manufacturers had actually signed the new, let's just call it the new Concord or race agreement. Even though that they've all gone away and spent hundreds of millions or millions or whatever you want to say developing new motorbikes for the new regulations, but they hadn't signed the final documents, so therefore they didn't want people announcing their riders. So I think now the fact that that's signed, I think there will be rider announcements thick and fast now. Do you know what I mean? Like the fact that there's no Pecco Bagnaia on a Ducati today in the 850cc era is a clear sign that he's leaving Ducati.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see what goes down over the next few weeks. I think we're going to start seeing the things coming out. But yeah, I think it's just a bit weird. Back to the race weekend. I think the battle at the front was quite was as I said to you, it wasn't as interesting as the sprint. But saying that it was good. It was good to see Pecco up the front. Looked very comfortable.
Yeah.
But like from lap 8, I could see his tires were goosed. Like he was gone. Do you know what I mean?
It's good to see. I'm sorry. It's good to see Marquez seems like he's coming out and being healed up. His healing is coming along okay.
Yeah, well, there was an interesting.
I'm rooting. You're not gonna believe this for Aprilia because I always vote for the underdog with the best engineering. You know.
Yeah. No. Look, it was interesting. Because in an interview after to Cardozzi, he was like really shocked with how Mark was able to hang on. Do you know what I mean? He was like, Mark is really struggling in the right-hand corners. And like the doctor told him, like, don't be expecting him back to anywhere near this properly on right-hand circuits, let's just call it, until September. So, so kind of in ways and thoughts is like, is Mark just being prickly again? Do you know what I mean? And selling a pup saying I'm fucking injured and I'm out for this, and everyone stupidly believing it. do you know what I mean? And so it's just look, I just thought it was. I thought the race was okay. I was really delighted for Joan Mir. Like that 5th place for him, man. That was like, I was just like, fair fucking play to you. I'm
sorry, but that was a rider.
Oh yeah. Now saying that, right? Young like another person I'm really like Diogo Moreira this weekend was stunning as well. Like, like I thought like, okay, his result was 11th in the race, but I thought he did really well as a rookie. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
He crashed out in the sprint. Remember, he was in 3rd place, and then Maverick crashed in sympathy with him. But again, he has balls. Let's just call it. But I was delighted to see Mir in 5th, and it was a well-earned 5th. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't that he just coasted around with no one near him. Do you know what I mean? Like you look at the top 4 ahead of him, right? They were all within. So Marquez to Di Giannantonio was 2.4 seconds, right? Then 10 seconds back was Mir. 12 seconds was Aldeguer. Do you know what I mean? So like he earned that race. Do you know what I mean? So he earned that 5th. I think Jorge Martin rode a really good race, even though he had the 2 double long lap penalties. Still very much so question him coming back onto the track and allowed to use the green for safety reasons. I'm like, well, fucking slow down. So, do you know what I mean? So you don't have to come out of there a full fucking chat. But it is I suppose it is what it is. Fabio Quartararo, what a fucking terrible weekend for him.
They say he's just giving up. and I can't blame
Well,
him.
you know, yeah. Like he has to, do you know what I mean? And like we all know he's leaving Yamaha. Do you know what I mean? He's
Right?
coming out with the lines. You know, I'll always be grateful to Yamaha for what they've done and what they've given me and this that, and the other. Um, you know, but again, it's just one of those things. Like, and
Yeah,
you
he's
know,
he's gonna have to be in tip-top condition because that Honda is no wonder bike that he's going into. Oh, sorry.
but like we don't really know where any of them fucking are right now. But like, if he was getting on same type machinery, yeah, you'd be 100% right. You know what I mean? It's not the easiest bike. But then saying that, it's a fucking demon on the brakes. So, like, but like again, like weird situations. Like Top Rack is the first Yamaha home, 14th place, 25 seconds behind Mark.
Right.
You know, it's the bones of a second a lap. Like, do you know what I mean? And it's just like there's a big gap from what? Yeah, there's a big gap really from eighth, where anyone at eighth or below was 21 seconds behind. Now, even saying that though, right? Martin was never going to even have the pace of Mark, right? You put in the 5 seconds that he lost, or say 6 seconds, being nice, right? He finished 21 seconds behind. That would put him around 15 seconds. That's a seventh place. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't on the
Yeah.
pace either. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, but a really, really tough weekend. And yeah, you know, Brad Binder. I think Binder is
I
looking
keep
for.
waiting for Yamaha to like wake up because if you look at between Yamaha and Honda, if you look at their histories, Yamaha has always out engineered Honda. Okay, uh,
Mhm.
where are they at? You know,
Yeah, well, look. I suppose they were never really going to come into this championship on a V4
Hmm.
and out engineer them straight away, right? There,
Right, exactly.
yeah, yeah.
You think they'd be making some gains at least?
I suppose I suppose, Jay, where I am with this though is that they're a year and a half into their development, right?
Yeah,
And 2027 regulations have now, I think they've switched over now. I think they've stopped, and I think that's why Fabio is in a way giving up himself, because he's just like, well, fuck it, if they're giving up now, do you know what I mean? Everything is going to go towards 27 now. It has to. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
They're not in a championship fight. There's nothing more to learn for
For the
the
inline
thousand
four, right?
cc. Do you know what I mean? Like, got to put all your eggs now into the basket of thing, and I think that's the right thing to do. You know, Honda should be the same. They're not
Mm-hmm.
going to fight for the championship, nor a KTM. To be fair, right?
Yep.
So why waste your time? Why waste the rubber? Why waste your technicians' development time, wind tunnel time, all of this? I'd be banging it on the new one and trying to get ahead, because the other side of the coin is Ducati and Aprilia. If they're going head to head, they're going to have to leave some resource on the 2026 battle. Do you know what I mean? While also focusing on the 2027 battle.
Right.
So, um, you know, make hay while the sun shines is the famous saying, isn't it?
Yeah, because they have to play a dribbling act where the Yamaha and Honda do not.
Mm-hmm.
And Aprilia, they do not. They're out of it too. And then
Who?
another DNF with the Aprilia. They're not KTM.
KTM, yeah. I think it was Costa's bike expired, wasn't it? Something
Yeah,
happened
it
to
was an
it.
electrical problem.
Yeah, and we've seen that. Obviously, there's no one knows better than KTM with an electrical problem than Alex Marquez. You know, uh, from thing. But yeah, it seems that they're really on a very fine margin. Now, saying that, Enea Bastianini didn't do too bad in 10th place, but like still saying that, you know, he's a really good rider. So has Binder, and the bike is just it's in that realm again of only one rider can ride it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So, and then we have this weekend, which is another favorite racetrack of mine. What is it?
I don't know.
It's the
Oh.
Cathedral of Speed.
So, yeah, Sachsenring.
No, it's Essen. Saxon is,
Excuse me.
yeah, Essen, yeah. So it's going to be a really interesting battle there, in my view. You know, like Bisecki is fucking faster out there. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, he likes the rain too.
Yeah, and it could.
And that's
Well,
has a tendency to rain.
I think Europe at the moment is having a heat wave. I think so. Like even Ireland, it is. This is the bones of 30 degrees, which is what, about 90-ish Fahrenheit. Your temperatures, so that's hot for Ireland.
Here we're cool. It's been such a cool summer that the fireflies are already out.
Well, here now, it like the Irish people are fucking melting. Like normally, we're happy in our fucking miserable 13 to 18 degrees Celsius. Do you know what I mean? And it's pushing up to the 25s, 26s, 27s, 30s. It's so yeah. So everyone is like, like having 2 or 3 days of warm weather is lovely for Ireland. But after that, then the Irish people get sick of it and they'll be like, all right, now just fuck off and come back another fucking time. Do you know what I mean? So currently we're in the middle of our Irish summer, 3 or 4 days of really good weather, and then it'll be back to miserable and fucking we'll be happy out. So we have Assen. I can't wait for Assen. Can't wait to see who wins, who has the better bike between Ducati and Aprilia, because like Assen is a real rider circuit. The rider can make a real difference only if your bike gives you the confidence to go after it. You know what I mean? So yeah. So it'll be interesting.
Lost you, pal.
I'm still here though. You can still hear me, can you?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. That's good. Let me try and work out these technical problems. And what was your best bit of the race for you?
I didn't really have a good. To be honest with you, I didn't have a good view of the race because I wasn't feeling all that well.
Right. Okay. I got you. No, look, I thought the race was good. I thought Mark was very unmarked, very patient, very calm, and then just made his move.
I remember the announcer saying first they were saying that he was getting a little squirrely. Then they said, oh, he's on rails now, which didn't make sense.
No, he was. Now, to be fair, the bike was pumping quite a bit, all right, under acceleration, right? So, I think that's what they were picking up on. So look, like he didn't do too bad, to be fair. Like he was, obviously he won the race, but like I suppose in the means of the race. Like he had 2 or 3 attempts at passing Pecco, and you could see the tire temperature went through the roof. He dropped back and he come again. So
that tire temperature will just keep coming back and bite you in the ear. It's like
well, it won't be
come back and bite you.
Yeah, well, they're saying with the Pirelli rubber that you can run close to the bike in front of you and it won't make any difference. Now they're also saying, what will help that is the reduced aero, not pushing the front tire into the ground as much, which I can kind of see the logic in it. But again, we wait and see. I suppose the only thing that was like a bit of a pity today was that obviously the 850 test was happening. I'm sure they will be leaked onto the internet pictures very soon. So I really don't understand why they keep these tests behind closed doors, because actually all they do.
Yeah, because people want to see it.
Why? Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? But I suppose maybe
It's
the
not like they're hiding
manufacturers.
it from the other manufacturers because they're all there together.
They're all there. They can fucking see it exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah. So just checking up to see is there
Now
is there any.
Marquez, by the way, quoted said the bike is good now and it's ready to win the title, quote unquote.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's wait and see. Like Mark does need to start the mind games now to see if he wanted to try and get get into Bez's head, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which we kind of need to, do you know what I mean? So or which he needs
With
to really.
Marquez, you never know if it's good, bad, or indifferent. Is it truth or a lie?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
game,
And that's the same. Like that's the same with it. Like as I said about the injury, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is he the truth about the whole injury? Do you know what I mean? Or the expected recovery timeline to try and catch people up? It's possible. Like, you know, like we saw him in whatever race that was when he was deciding that I'm going to make a bolt at a certain point in time. Do you know what I mean? To go and swap bikes. So look, we know he has form of being a little bit cunning. So
And another factor is they come to the riders where they've been injured right after they got off the bike in a race. Well, the adrenaline's pumping. Okay, you can have your adrenaline pumping up, and you do feel fine. All right. Then 3 hours later, you take a nap and you go to get up and you're like, oh God, what truck hit me?
Yeah. Oh, look, I 100% get it. I'm just I just think it's a little bit funny. That's all. Like Davide Tardazzi seemed genuinely shocked when he was saying what he was saying. So I'm just like, it's a little bit interesting. But Assen this weekend, I think, I don't think Bezzecchi has a lot of pressure on him, but I think Bezzecchi needs to make a point this weekend as well. Do you know what I mean? And even if Mark wins, if Bezzecchi's a close second, that'll be fine.
Bezzecchi needs to settle the ship. Put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs to just calm everything down. Like I still don't believe that Mark is in Bezzecchi's head. I think it's Bezzecchi is just losing the plot on his own. Like going and hitting the marshal has absolutely nothing of Mark being in his head. Do you know what I mean?
Well, no. I think that was just somebody. The marshal grabs the throttle, it goes off. I mean, and you start to like your bike. You know what I mean? That's like his bike. Yeah. And oh Jesus, what are you doing, you dumb son of a bitch? And you smack it.
I genuinely don't think that he was out to fucking knock him the fuck out, right?
Yeah.
But look, I suppose they have to be seen to act on things like that. And I suppose like when I look at it, if you were to look at soccer or anything like that, you hit a referee or you hit an official or you do this or you do that or you do the other, then you're gonna face some serious consequences. So I suppose look, that's where it is, but I still don't believe that he's anywhere near being in Mark is in Bezzecchi's head. I think Bezzecchi is looking at Mark and always looked at Mark as a contender and a worry. Do you know what I mean? But he's left himself down rather than like because he's under pressure from Mark Marquez. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I suppose that's where I am with it. This weekend, Assen, Jakey Poo, we're going to end up on. Who's your top three?
I think I'd love to see Bez. I want to see Bez I said, stay the tide and do it. But I don't think he's going to do it. I think it's going to be Marquez again.
Do you think?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Martin. I think Martin is going to win this weekend.
Really?
Yeah. There's
Is he one of
nothing
his
more
favorite
than.
tracks? I don't know.
Bez is faster. Marquez is faster. Pecco is faster. There's Martin is okay there, but I don't know. I think Martin is just going to come in with just a bit of extra aggression. You know what I mean? And then if it's, yeah, because I suppose, like the one thing that you could say now is that Bez does need to. We call it over here, stop the rot and perform. Do you know what I mean? And maybe that might get to him.
Right.
I don't think so. I think he's been in his kind of position before where he needs to get himself out of a rut. Let's just call it.
You're black again.
Yeah, I'll check it there now. So yeah, so look, we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see.
You're black.
I know what's going on with my camera. Anyway, but I think it's going to be Martin Bezzecchi, and I think Acosta.
I'm hoping you're right. I really am.
Yeah.
I always vote for that underdog. You got to give him respect for.
Yeah, but like, it's always
engineering.
Yeah, like myself and my young fella, for the old World Cup, like it's very easy to be betting on the likes of France and Argentina and Spain and all of these. And I was like, well, come on, we'll make it fucking interesting. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Pick a country of the ones that have absolutely no chance of winning it, and let's see who gets the furthest. Do you get me?
Yeah, so, you're black.
I don't know. Yeah, I think on that.
But Aprilia, by the way, even if you look at their street bikes, they're high tech. I mean, they're such a little company. Yeah, every one of their bikes is good, and one of their bikes is high tech, reliable. Good across the board.
Mm-hmm. I get you. Yeah, look, it is interesting, but look, we'll wait and see what happens. No doubt, we'll be in contact, Jakey, before the race weekend kicks off. Definitely want to know, like from the people watching this, what you thought of Brno. I think you're kind of right, Jake. The sprint race I thought was good, but I thought the main race kind of lacked a little bit of punch, I suppose, of close racing. Yes, Mark and Pecco and Agora, it was interesting, but it wasn't the 10 bike fucking rattle off each other, like, do you know what I mean? And people trying to bomb. So yeah, maybe it got a bit, won't say boring, but it wasn't edge of the seat stuff. Let's just call it.
Yeah. It was...
Yeah. Okay, well, look, hopefully the Cathedral of Speed will be different this week, but I think on that bombshell, Jakey Poo, we'll wrap up there, and we will be back again next week after Assen. Hopefully, the race will be fucking knockout, drag them out, fucking.
We don't care, right?
Like fucking proper UFC fight on the bikes. But anyway, on that bombshell,
you like smack. You like rubbing racing. I'm more into diving and I don't like them seeing touch each other.
Well, if you can't touch him, you don't know where he is.
Something you're not telling us, buddy?
That's a famous football saying, but yeah, like I don't mind a bit of rubbing, like, because, like, realistically, right, it kind of drives a couple of messages home in that, right? And I know I'm extending it, but because, like, your man in front of you is trying to outsmart you by closing off the racing line. Do you know what I mean? And you're kind of going, well, dipshit, if you're not going to leave a slight gap, I'm going to go up that slight gap. But, if I crash, you're coming with me, and it's going to be your fault. You know what I mean? Or, you pass them, and you, after have a bit of rubbing, you know what I mean? And you're like, well, you could have just opened the door a little bit, like, you know what I mean? But anyway, we'll always tend to every rider will always disagree with another rider, especially if it's a close rub and pass. So anyway, we'll leave it there, and we will see everyone next week. Have a good one.
Take it easy, bud.